And today on our Dear Claire series, we're weighing the differences between condos versus houses. And how do you choose between the two? Grab your cup of tea and let's chat. So if you're trying to figure out what to buy in the housing market, it's a hard question, and it takes a little getting to know you and getting to know your partner to decide what you want to do. So is it a condo? Is it a townhouse? Obviously, the amazing things about those is that you have no well, you have HOAs, but you have no maintenance, nothing you have to do. You don't have to mow the lawn. You don't have to worry about the roof, but you're paying for that. You have homeowners dues and you have rules that you have to abide by. How else do you make that decision? Budget is a big one. For a buyer, it's really hard to decide whether I care about how much money I'm paying or if I care about what my monthly payment is. Usually most buyers care about their monthly payment because that's what they have to deal with every month. It's so hard to decide whether you want a condo or a freestanding house, and there are a lot of compromises with both. So if you have a condo, you're typically going to get into a location that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do. So a condo is obviously going to be more affordable in a much better location, where a house is going to be more expensive and not as great of a location. And we're talking about the two properties being the same price. With a condo, if location's important to you, if you want to be able to walk and bike and drive everywhere easily and accessibility is important to you, a condo is a great alternative. As far as whether they're valuable or not, that's such a hard question. So what I've heard people liken it to is a condo is like a penny stock, which is a stock that goes up and down quicker than like an index fund, which is a typical stock market fund, say, Nestle or some big stock that's a stock that doesn't move very much. It's a very solid investment. So houses are very similar to that. They go up more slowly and they drop more slowly than condos do. But condos are much more flexible and much less risk in that if the roof goes bad, you have 50 people that you get to share that cost with. On a house, you only have yourself and perhaps the poor person that you bought the house with. So when you're trying to decide whether a condo is worth as much or equal to a house, there are a few things to consider. So location is always key. No matter what you're buying, you could be buying a shed, and if it's in an amazing location, it's still going to be a good investment. So condos usually age just fine. The problem with a condo is you're not just buying a house that you're managing yourself. A condo is almost an investment in a business because that condominium complex has a bunch of other owners and they're all putting money into a kitty, and that reserve account is what that kitty is called, has to be properly managed. It's supposed to be only allocated for things that need to be done on the property. So a roof. You figure, okay, in 30 years we need a new roof, and that's going to cost us $1 million in 30 years. So every monthly payment of those HOAs is going to that roof. If instead you spent the money on a party for the homeowners association, or you bought a barbecue, or God knows what other things you spent the money on, and instead of having that money for the roof in 15 years or 30 years, then it's bankrupt, then it's a really poor investment. So I think that's the biggest thing with condos is you have to look at the financial stability of the condominium association. If it's well run, if people are taking minutes and everything's been inspected recently and you know the reserve study is looking solid, then it's a great investment. Congratulations, you finally decided to take the deep dive into buying property for the first time. So first thing you want to do is interview a couple of real estate agents. You want to get to know them and see if you feel comfortable. It's a lot like going to the doctor. I mean, nobody wants to go into the doctor, take all their clothes off and be like, what do you think, doc? Does everything look okay? So you want to be comfortable with your real estate agent because you're going to have some weird, awkward, hard conversations with them. So I would choose the agent that you choose simply by how good of a rapport you have with that person. And then once you've chosen your agent, you're going to want to choose your lender. Typically, an agent is going to have lenders that they work with and that they can recommend. And those people will usually have great working relationships so that they work in concert well. Once you have your pre-approval letter, you're ready to go. Now it's just the tough part of finding a property that you love that you can afford. So there's a few answers to some common questions when you're just starting the process of deciding on what am I going to buy now that I have decided to buy real estate. Thanks again for tuning in to our Dear Claire series. We're so happy to have you. See you next time. Thank you for tuning in to this Dear Claire episode. If you found this helpful, or if you have any additional questions, comment below and hit the thumbs up. And we'll see you next time.